Hi, I'm Molly.
And I'm Jamie, and this is our From the Pasture with Hired Hand podcast. As the owners of Hired Hand website software, we've been developing websites and creating internet marketing strategies for livestock breeders for the past 10 years.
The majority of our customers are involved in the breeding of registered animals, such as Texas Longhorns, Highland cattle, horses, and white-tailed deer, where the pedigrees are very important. The From the Pasture with Hired Hand podcast examines many of the differences in raising pedigreed livestock for maximum profit. Join us and learn what we're covering today.
Well, welcome, Josh. Thanks for taking some time out of your busy day to talk with us about the upcoming Horn Showcase.
Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
So for those that don't know you, can you introduce yourself a little bit and what your role is at the Horn Showcase this year?
Sure. My name's Josh Gentry with G3 Longhorns. I'm the chairman of the Horn Showcase Committee, and we are feverishly working to create a considerably better Horn Showcase this year than what we've had recently.
Nice. Well, I'm sure we'll get into some of the new things that you're doing a little bit later on in the podcast. But is this your first year being the chairman for the Horn Showcase?
This is my first year on the committee at all. I got on and immediately, I guess, became chairman. So we're all learning with me on this one.
Nice. Well, it sounds like you've definitely jumped in with both feet and took off running. So that's good.
Well, thank you.
Okay. So do you want to give us a back history of the event?
Yeah, I mean, the Horn Showcase has been around since the year 2000. It was a Dale Hunt. I don't know if it was a dream, a nightmare, a thought that he put together. We actually started doing a sale in 2002, and we've, I guess, tried to make it bigger and better. Some years we've done great. Some years we've faltered a little bit, but it's grown since 2000.
So let's talk about this year specifically. Can you tell everyone the date and the time?
I can. The actual events start Thursday, October 12th. Wednesday, the 11th, we're just checking in cattle. For those of y'all who don't realize that this late in the game, you have to be there Wednesday.
And all cattle have to be there Wednesday, correct? Whether it's for the sale?
Yes.
Okay.
Thursday, we are measuring all day. We have a DNA seminar with Kevin Bryant at 10 a.m. Longhorn beef producers are putting on a beef seminar at 11. And then the big one that everybody's talking about, I think, is the 1:30 p.m. with Jimmy Jones, Nancy Dunn, and Terry King are doing a new breeder seminar. And unless you've been in it for 40 years, you're still a new breeder to Jimmy Jones. So he could teach you something.
I think you can teach everybody something. That's definitely for sure.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that one. I'm going to be in there with my notepad and camera and trying to learn something too. So Friday the 13th, we have the futurity and Bull Alley and the Bull Alley reception. The futurity starts at 8 a.m. Bull Alley reception at 5. We'll have tacos for those of you who like food. Tacos and nacho bar. And then at 6 p.m. is Bull Alley. And then Saturday the 14th, 11 a.m. is the sale. 5:30, around about 5:30, we'll do dinner. And then immediately following that at 6, we'll start the awards banquet. Basically give everybody a chance to get a plate and sit down. And then following that, we have a concert by Max Stalling.
Sounds like a fun-filled, 4 days you guys have planned?
Basically, yeah. So.
And what town are we located in, and what is the event center
We are
called?
in Reno, Oklahoma at the Canadian County Expo Center. It's 3001 Jensen Road for those who aren't going to Google it anyway, but right off of 40 there in El Reno.
Okay, perfect. So let's talk about the measuring portion, which happens, you said, on Thursday morning, starts right away at 8 a.m. How many entries do you have?
We have 507 total animals entered to be measured. 281 of those will be on site in Oklahoma. So the
Okay.
other, however many that is, sorry, my fast math, 226-ish will be at satellites, which are measured this weekend, October 7th and 8th, leading up to the event.
So is that comparable to what it's been in years past for on-site measurement, or is this more
So
than
we've
normal?
definitely outdone what we've done in recent years. We were we actually kind of freaked out. We started getting close to 300 animals on site, and um, we actually had to rent a circus tent or a party tent to house a handful of animals because we were bigger than what we were planning. So that's a good thing, and we've adapted and overcame on that. I'm sure we'll have many more challenges that we'll overcome, but all things that we're doing because of success with the events, what I feel like anyway.
So have you figured out how many, I guess, minutes or maybe even seconds the animal you have to measure each animal before the next one has to come in so you're not there all weekend?
That is on the measuring crew that I am not a part of. So we will let Joe and his guys figure that out.
Oh, funny. Well, here's to them. Hopefully they can get it all wrapped up in one day. I'm sure they'll get it all done in
Yeah,
a timely
we've got a
manner.
really good back crew, and everybody will tell you the back crew makes or breaks the event. So Terry Bryant and his crew, the same guys that do the Legends sale for those of you who don't know him, they're doing they're our back crew this year, and they do a bang up job at Legends, and I know they're going to do really good for us. So it's all about keeping the animals coming and calm, and so that the measuring crew can get them in there and get them out in a reasonable time frame.
Yep. All right, so the seminars will be going on at the same time that the measuring is going on. And you said the first one starts at, what
Yes,
was it, 10
10
a.m.?
a.m. starts Kevin Bryant talking about DNA and how it's a useful tool to use with your herd. Um, Contrary to popular belief, we're not pushing DNA on the industry. It's actually showing how it can benefit you, not how to prove that your animals aren't really longhorns or any of the other conspiracy theories that are out there about why some of us want to use DNA. But basically, how it works in conjunction with building your herd to what you want it to be. Um,
Okay.
it's going to roll right from that into the beef producers are going to cover a little bit about DNA and how to use DNA in your beef herd and the process and the different ways DNA is capable, as well as just general information about the Longhorn beef. And then we take a break for everybody to go to lunch, and then that new breeder seminar with Jimmy and them at 1:30.
So you said it was Jimmy, Terry
Correct.
King, and then Nancy Dunn. That's a lot of knowledge in one room.
That I originally called Jimmy and said, "Hey, I want you to do this," and he was like, "Oh no." And I'm like, "Man, come on, you're full of knowledge," and he's giving me all the reasons he can't do it. And I was like, "Man, there are people in this industry that just want to have a conversation with you. Like, we want to sit in this classroom and listen to what you're talking about." And he said, "Well, if you'll let me bring in some friends," well, I knew who he was going to bring. And Terry King's one of the nicest guys in the industry and has a really nice herd. And then Nancy Dunn. It's great her being back out and about without being so worried about the cancer diagnosis. So glad to have her at the event, and really excited for her to be a part of teaching that class.
So then after the seminars, the measuring will go on the duration of the day. on Thursday. So now let's jump into Friday morning.
Futurity starts at 8 a.m. on Friday.
And how many entries did you have for the futurity?
Sorry, let me pull that sheet up because I don't know that number off the top of my head. I have 167 entries in the futurity across 18 classes.
18.
We have 5 judges. We have Josh Dinwiddie, Ken Morris, Dr. Mark Gilliland, Suzanne Torkelson, and Savannah Smith. Yeah, I think we've got a good diverse group there that, we always get into the discussion of horn people versus show people and all of that. And I think we've got a good group there everybody should feel confident in their abilities.
And does all of this happen under the same roof? Or
Nope. Once you walk through the front doors, you're in the building that everything's going on. We do have some futurity animals that'll be stored or housed outside, but outside is still under the same roof. I tell everybody if it's raining, you still don't get wet because when you walk through the front doors, the pavilion is covered and there's covered walkway, covered everything. You'll never get wet even if it's raining.
And then to finish out Friday after the futurity is over, you mentioned the Bull Alley reception, which starts at 5, and then Bull Alley is 6.
We have 26 bulls in Bull Alley. And we have, semen can be ordered on site, or you could call the office before the event if you're not going, but we really hope you're going.
And if they want to order semen on site, who should they talk to?
They'll be passing out the forms and everything during Bull Alley. So that'll all be, a procedure or the process that we go through every year.
Yep. Okay. And for those that unfortunately can't make it, Bull Alley will be on Hired Hand Live, so people can view it there. And if they do want to purchase semen that way as well, they're able to do so. If they have any questions or anything, they can always message me or shoot me a text too. So with Bull Alley this year, is it going to be the way it has in years past?
Yes, we've actually got. I'm not a huge fan of the flashing lights and the wild, crazy stuff. I think it riles some of the animals up. So we will have some different lighting and some effects, and definitely everybody picks their intro music. That seems to be the exciting thing for everybody that's involved in Bull Alley. And then, but yeah, we do have a light bar above the sale ring, so they'll come into their music and it'll still be a big production, but hopefully not any strobes or anything too wild to freak anybody out and get anybody too riled up. Yes, that's actually, it's been one of our favorite parts since we've been in this. And one thing we did do this year is we moved Bull Alley to Friday night as opposed to Thursday night, so that hopefully those who normally couldn't, the breeders with children or people who have to work for a living, didn't have to miss 2 days worth of work. They could miss 1 day worth of work or get there, Friday evening for Bull Alley as opposed to trying to get there Thursday night. That was one thing that a lot of breeders were asking about, trying to figure out how to get it to where they could get there.
That's Friday. So now let's talk about Saturday, which is the sale starting at 11.
Sale day contacts are hired hand. If you're not there, hired hand.
Of course,
If
I
you
will
are
definitely
there,
help people.
So Dan Huntington will be the auctioneer, and Chase Vasut will be reading pedigrees. If you have an animal in the sale, obviously get with Chase and make sure he says what you want him to say.
One thing I maybe should mention too here while we're talking about the pedigree reader is for those people who do have animals consigned to the Horn Showcase or any animal or any sale that we do Hired Hand Live for, there is a form at the top of all of the animals listed where people can send in any updates that they might have about the animal. It's just that the updates need to be in Tuesday by midnight, the Tuesday before the sale, what we do with those updates is we put them out on Hired Hand Live, but then we also give them to the pedigree reader as well so that they're aware and you don't have to try to track down the pedigree reader. It's just,
I didn't know that was
I thought I would maybe mention that for everybody who's
possibility.
listening. It's a possibility. Yeah, it's been working pretty well. We've been doing it, I think, for the last few months, maybe since August or so. I think it's really helped out the pedigree reader a lot, where he doesn't then have to try to track down everybody because some people have gotten their stuff in ahead of time. So maybe.
If I've learned anything by being on this committee, it's that nobody in the Longhorn industry does anything ahead of time. If everybody waits till the absolute last minute to send their stuff in.
Nothing like procrastination, huh? Sounds like everyone functions better under a little bit of pressure.
Right.
And then the cattle handler for the sale, is it also the same as it will be all weekend?
Yes. Terry Bryant will be there all week with us, and they do a great job. I mean, like I say, they do such a good job. One thing to point out at Horn Showcase this year, we've asked or requested that the back crew does all of the feeding and watering and their muck and stalls. So if you do have an animal in a pen and you're thinking that their water's low or they need more hay or their stall is abnormally dirty, we have people on site to do that. We don't expect, or we actually ask that you don't, as a consigner or an animal owner, go in and have to change your own water or any of that. So it should be pretty seamless. Other than grain, your animals should be well taken care of.
Well, that's a nice added benefit this year for everyone. I know that's always a little bit stressful for some people.
That's a lot stressful for some people.
Okay, so for those people, I guess, that purchase online and maybe even there at the sale, if they don't have their trailer with them, it looks like you have a good list of people willing to haul after the sale.
We do. We have Wes Clark and Ron Bailey from Texas, so they'll head south. Vincent Rapps also will probably head south. He goes all over. Chris Blanton, Blake Kinnears from Missouri, so he'll go, I guess that's east. Matt Bourbon will go way east. And then Nicodime and Chris Blanton are both in Oklahoma, I believe. So, we've got a good group to haul wherever it is. If you're not heading one of the directions that I said there, we can still find you somebody.
Love what you're hearing? Be sure to check out our Pickup Truck Confessions. It's a video series where we hop in the truck or rental car and interview a variety of breeders about what drives their passion for their livestock, how they got started in the breed of their choice, marketing tips, and more. And now, back to the podcast. All right, so now let's talk about the consigners. How many consigners do you have this year?
Oh, man. So we did, I'm going to skirt your question here, but we did a select sale this year. We did 65 animals. Your catalog's going to say 66, but we had a scratch and we didn't get renumbered. But we did 66 animals. We do have a handful of consigners that had more than one animal, but we had over 135 animals sent in to be in this sale, and we actually put a subcommittee down in to dwindle this down to 65. And I know we made some folks mad in the meantime, but we were really trying to make this sale a good sale where worthy of the Horn Showcase name, so that that it wasn't just another odd weekend sale with a crazy low average.
Yeah, as I was looking through the catalog, the list just kept going on and on and on for the consigners. So definitely have a lot of consigners this year.
Yeah, we tried to give as many people, the option. We sent, like I said, we had a subcommittee, so we sent all the animals to the subcommittee without listing whose they were, so that they would have the best opportunity to pick the best cattle. We did come back, and if they had more than 3 for one consigner, we did ask them, hey, max it out at 3 and go for somebody else's animal to try to spread the wealth a little bit. But ultimately, we really wanted the best animals. That's what we asked from the get-go, is send us your best. And I was really happy with the quality of animals that we got in the sale.
Good. Do you know if any of the consigners this year are first-time consigners?
Yes, I do know. I know one of them is for sure. I know Miranda Webb and Robert Webb put in an animal. It's their first animal to sell at public auction, and she's been really nervous. And we've had a few conversations about her nerves getting the best of her on it. But I think that happens no matter if it's your first or your 15th. You still just get antsy whenever your time comes.
All right, so we've talked quite a bit about the consigners. Let's talk about the consignments now. I think this is probably what everyone enjoys hearing about
Okay.
as well. Do you have any updates or scratches that we should?
We do. Lot 10 from the Torkelsons. She subbed it. She came up with ringworm, I believe it was. She needed to sub it. So she subbed a great animal. Scratches, we had lot 21 from DCT and lot 38 from Hoosier scratched. I know Hoosiers came up open, and that didn't meet the sale qualifications, so he scratched. He didn't sub. I'm not 100% sure what the scratch for DCT was, other than it was lot 21.
Okay, so we have a sub for lot 10, and then 21 and 38 were both scratches. So one thing that I didn't tell you about ahead of time, because I like to surprise the sale host a little bit, is I'm going to make you, or see if you can guess the top five most viewed animals as of today.
Wow.
Are you ready for that challenge?
No. It's going to sound horrible. I would hope that mine was. I'm pretty sure she's lot 48.
Okay. What lot is yours?
I'm pretty sure she's 48.
Oh, she didn't quite make the cut.
I would have to have a catalog open in front of me to be able to tell you who I thought.
I can tell you that the first 3 are in the top 11 lots.
Oh, wow. Is lot 1 of them, the donation heifer?
Mm-hmm. Yep, she is the third
Randy
most
Murray's
viewed, Black
donation
Rain.
heifer? No, that's not. Yeah, that's his donation heifer, right? Oh, no, that's not Randy Murray. That's Randy Murray's is Stormy something.
Yep. Black Rain was consigned by Sam Stoltz and Tommy Peterson.
So Randy's is D1 then, not 1. Let's see. I'm going to butcher this, and then I'm going to make people mad because I thought their animal was... And then you're going to have all these people hating me.
They won't hate you. They'll appreciate the shout out to their animal. How's that?
All right. How about lot 3?
So close, but not lot 3.
So close as in lot 4?
As in lot 4, yes.
Oh, I was right there.
Yep. That one is KCS 20 Shades Lighter, which was consigned by Casey Springs Ranch.
Casey Turner's animal. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So 11 will be one of them.
Yep. Lot 11 was the number 1 most viewed JHCC Golden Sparkles, who's consigned by Jason Hardy.
Okay.
So then there's 2 left. One of them is almost to the end of the sale.
Almost the end of the sale?
Mm-hmm.
Like 61?
Really close, lot 60.
60. Whose is that?
Jumping. That one is RJL Mula Ma. She's consigned by Sean and Haley Loftus.
Oh, okay.
And that was number 5. So we just need number 4. Let me get to her and see if I can give you some hints. Her service sire is in Bull Alley. Does that help out at all?
No. I'm trying to pull up my catalog now.
The consignor, this might help. This consignor has 3 animals in the sale.
So it's either Mike Davis. Is it Mike Davis?
Nope, not Mike. My next hint was going to be sometimes their last name is kind of tricky for people to pronounce.
3 consignments, tricky last name. Who else had?
She's really pretty. Brindle, twisty horn. Okay, it's lot 25. TLS Cheetah, consigned by TL Longhorns.
Stegmallers. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad theirs made it. I had a conversation with her the other day about Horn Showcase, and she was really excited. So that's good that theirs is top 5. Although I'm sad that mine's not.
Well, maybe now that we've talked about it, maybe people will be wondering what your consignment is, and they'll go check it out.
There you
Maybe
go.
it'll jump up there. Okay, so let's talk about the awards
Okay.
for a little bit. There's a lot of things happening during the awards banquet, it sounds like, and even afterwards. Where will the awards be taking place?
So the awards will be, there's a event hall that's directly still attached, same building. That the awards will be done in that room, which is the same room we'll have the concert afterwards. We are doing, at the request of multiple breeders, so we will do the award ceremony where when your award is announced, you'll come up to the stage and we'll take your picture right there front and center, and then we'll send you off. If it is an animal that has multiple partners, we're going to ask that we do one picture on the stage. We'll set the backdrop up off the stage afterwards, just for everyone's sake of everyone's time. Not that we don't appreciate that there's multiple partners or whatever, but we'll lose the crowd and lose the night if we're taking, 5 or 6 pictures of every breeder. So we appreciate that help in advance. We can snap one picture on the stage. We'll move the backdrop afterwards, and you take as many pictures as you want.
Okay. And then that starts the banquet itself starts at 6.
Correct. At about 5:30, they're going to open it up for us to have dinner. We're having Longhorn roasts, Longhorn beef, and basically we're going to give everybody a chance to get a plate and get sat down. And if you win a bunch of awards, you're going to eat cold Longhorn beef because you're going to be up on the stage.
That might be an okay problem.
That would be, I would be okay with it. Like, okay, well, I won, so now my food's cold.
And then directly after the awards banquet, there's the concert.
Correct. We have Max Stalling playing. We're saying from probably 9 to 11. May go a little earlier, may go a little later, just as soon as the awards are over.
Is there a cutoff for the when people need to have their tickets purchased?
Obviously, the earlier the better, specifically because we're feeding a bunch of people and we want to make sure there's enough food. But as I stated a while ago, nobody in this industry does anything ahead of time. So we're just assuming that we're going to have 300 or so people eating. And if there's a lot more than that, they didn't buy tickets in advance, and we're going to be freaking out trying to figure out how to feed you.
So you preferably like them to get a hold of you probably early next week.
Ideally it all goes through Pam at the office. So, ideally sooner the better. So we make sure we have enough of everything. I mean, we know what numbers to target, but if we have a bigger turnout than expected, then we're trying to plan for that, but with food, you don't want to way over plan and throw some away. So,
Right. And then one question that I always get, which I don't know if we've mentioned, is on Sunday, all of the cattle need to be out by noon.
absolutely correct. All cattle gone no later than noon on Sunday. If we can get them out earlier, that's great. Um, until you get on one of these committees, you don't realize how tight the schedule really is for getting pins set up, pins labeled, and pins taken down and stuff cleaned up before the next event has to go down next week. And it's such a crazy tight schedule that it make your head spin.
So it sounds like you're maybe going to label yourself as maybe like the chaos coordinator. Is that a good title for you?
Yeah, that's been my title for like 8 months now. So we're I'm ready for this horn showcase to take off. I think we've put a really good event together. I think it's gonna take off, and hopefully without too many crazy hitches. And then I'm ready to have my life back for a few days before we start planning for next year.
Perfect. Well, before we plan for next year, should we talk about some of the sponsors and some of the other people who have also helped make the event possible?
Sure. So obviously the committee has been, this isn't a me thing. This is a us thing. We've got Blake Kinnear, who was in charge of the sale animals. He did a great job with that. Natalie Cheney was the satellite coordinator. So if you're running a satellite, you've definitely heard from her, and she's probably hounded you about some stuff. But we're trying to make sure that the satellites were for sure legitimate. You always hear the rumblings from past years of, oh, well, so and so measured their own animals or whatever. So she's been on top of that. Matt Bourbon was in charge of futurity, catching sponsors and getting entries brought in. Nick Nicodime was the major sponsorship coordinator for us this year, and he did a great job for us. And we've over $100,000 worth of sponsorships this year from our members. And then Karen Allen is in charge of Bull Alley this year, and she had a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of excitement around Bull Alley. So that's the committee. Obviously, those people all deserve a pat on the back and whatever else. These volunteer committees consume so much of your time that it's almost not volunteer. And then Pam at the office is a godsend for the committee, because this being my first year and being the chairman, I have had so many conversations with that woman about how do we do this? What did we do in the past? How do we make this better? And countless hours with Pam. And then obviously our sponsors. I can run through a quick list if we have time.
Yeah, go ahead.
Circle Double C Ranch, New Age Cattle Company, Harrell Ranch, Bentwood Ranch, Hudson Longhorns, Hoosier Longhorns, 6CR Longhorns, Buxton Longhorns, Gilliland Ranch, Diamond C Longhorns, Helm Cattle Company, G&G Longhorns, TS Adcock Longhorns, Loftus Longhorns, and KC Springs Ranch. We have a ton of futurity sponsors. Then a decent list of Bull Alley sponsors: Cold Copper, Glendenning, Circle A, 3P, Bull Creek Ranch, um, Painted Oak Ranch, Hardcastle Land and Cattle. And then we actually did a kids zone this year, so we've got sponsorship from Flint Hills and Bomb City Cattle Company on that. Try to give the kids something to do so they're not bored out of their minds.
Then you also there's a bar sponsor, and like you said, there's a whole nother list of sponsors for the futurity.
Yes, we had Fritz Longhorns as the bar sponsor. Sorry, I did not mean to leave them off. The concert sponsors Lucky Mountain, M7, and G3. And then, we have a long list of class sponsors: Pace Cattle Company, um, Diamond B, M7, the Sillers, Pace Cattle Company, Hubble, 3J, Lonesome Pines, Terry King, Rockin' AF Taxidermy, Roland D Ranch, Circle A, Show Me Longhorns, Rolling Hill Longhorns, Double K Longhorns, Crossfire Longhorns, DR Henry Ranch, Loftus Longhorns, Ritchie Land and Livestock, KCM Longhorns, and then another class from M7, and then I think that's Landis. Sorry, my list is misspelled. Would be the last one there.
I think the only other one would be Diamond B Cattle, which they're the Grand Champion Bull sponsor.
Yes.
So it's quite the list. Lots of people.
Yeah, lots of people supported us this year. We appreciate all the support. Obviously, we couldn't put an event together without sponsors.
Mm-hmm. So one thing I guess we kind of skipped over was the Kids Zone. Do you want to talk any more about that?
Sure. The Kids Zone we did this year, an area for the kids to go play, to be kids. A lot of the events this year have done, coloring books or whatever. We're trying to. We've also offered coloring, an area for them to color, but at some point the kids are going to get bored of coloring every weekend. So we do have the Kids Zone area. Does have like a big Connect Four, cornhole, Jenga, things for the kids to go play and be kids.
Yep. Do you think we need to define the ages of kids? Because I feel like there might be some breeders who might want to go play Connect Four and those things.
Yeah, we'll have to keep Jimmy Jones out of there, but anybody younger than Jimmy can go play.
Perfect. Well, is there anything that we haven't talked about that you want to be sure to mention?
I don't think so. I think we've basically covered it all. We're just looking forward to a really good event, and we hope that everybody comes out and has a great time.
All right. Well, thanks for taking a few minutes out of your day and giving us all the details about this year's Horn Showcase.
Thanks for having me.